This is learning. We're going to talk about the WISE option calendar. Before we jump into the calendar, first let's take a look at the data and professionals, because here it's the place where you're going to determine which doctors or technicians that will have their name showing in the calendar. So make sure, if you want a doctor or technician to have a calendar, they must have the show calendar checkbox set. So you simply select the user, check the box, and save. That's the first thing. I'll not save this one because I already have a few doctors set. Next, I will go to the calendar. Based on the doctors that you have selected, you're going to notice that we are going to have those doctors showing here in the list of professionals. Maybe by default, the first view you're going to see is the single column. We're going to touch base on about that in a minute. But a couple of things here we're going to check on this view before we dive into the specifics. So the first thing we want to mention is make sure that all the different types of appointment statuses are checked. Let's start with the single column, and then we're going to explore a little bit down the road the multiple columns. The next thing I want you to do is to go to the settings, this little gear, and when you click there, you're going to determine the space between the appointments. You can say how many minutes each appointment is going to be determined by default. Next, if your hours is AM, PM 24, the ruler is the side hour view here that you're going to see. So I'm determining from 5 a.m. through 8 p.m. And the working hours, the journey for the day is 7 to 6, where you see the white portion here in the calendar. Gray out is because it's out of the working hours, but because it's within my ruler, I will be able to see starting from 5 to 7. However, the working hours go from 7 to 6. You make your changes according to your preferences and you save. Now that you have the professional set, you have the settings set. In this demo database, I have three different practice. If your case is just to have one practice, no problem. You just stick with that practice. But once you pick that practice, you're going to have room location. The WISE option calendar allows you to determine the rooms per practice. So in other words, you can have the field, the clinic, the surgery room number 1, surgery room. You create the different rooms for each practice. So when you are making an appointment for a patient, you can reserve a surgical room, and everything here is customizable. So as you can see, I have set up different colors, and when you enter a new room, you're going to be able to set up the colors. So that's why it looks like this. And you just save, and you can customize your rooms. Important is that you have all the rooms set for the practice that you are using. Okay, so now we have seen that we have professionals. We have set up the environment area for the calendar, and you make sure that you have your rooms determined for the appointment that you're going to create. So in this e-learning, we set up and we just did a quick overview about the environment in the calendar for WISE option. Thanks for watching.